The next step is to crochet the back panel to the front. So we put the front sides together like so, and I have done one side and found I was able to crochet in lots of those yarn ends that were created doing this. So we'll turn it round and get into the bottom of the bag. To join the back and front of this bag, I'm using a single crochet, but I'm doing it on the back side. So you won't see the line on the front. All you'll see is a bit of stitching. Okay, going. I am using every chain that I made along the bottom of the back panel, and then I go into the corresponding stitch on the front panel. So that's working quite well. A little bit tricky getting into some of those chains, as they can be a bit tight, but stitch by stitch we get there. When I started at the beginning, I just did a slip stitch on my hook and went straight into doing single crochet, picking up a stitch on the back panel and then the corresponding one on the front panel. And it's worked out like this. Now this will rectify itself once I do a few rounds of stitching over top so that it goes to the top of the bag. Every so often, line your work up to make sure that each side is equivalent to the other. I just did it and my front panel was all puckered, so I actually had to pull this section undone and start again. It's probably a good idea to put some stitch markers there to secure it along the way. There we go. I improvised. So let's get back to it now, knowing that one side is a little bit looser than the other, and I need to account for that. Every so often, open out your work and check it to make sure that you haven't made any errors that are going to stand out. And I am really happy with that seam. It's even and nothing's out of the ordinary. It looks great. Now we're going around the corner and up the other side. We need to pop a stitch under that chain and then into the corner of the front panel. I do a second one so it kind of takes it around the corner, and then move on to the side where you'll go into the bottom of the double crochet, so it's like it's in the body of it, the long part, and then pick up the top of your double crochet on the other side, weaving in that yarn end as we go. Well, sewing it in really. Now we go into another part of the double crochet and pick up the stitch from the other side. This is a lot easier than going along the bottom. Into the next double crochet and single stitch into the next part of the double crochet and single crochet. Look at all these ends that we've got to weave in as we go. This is a lot to be crocheting over, but it sure beats darning them in, doesn't it? Okay, let's snip off that yarn end, pulling it through, and now I'm going to go around and darn in any of the yarn ends that are left over, starting with the one from the join. I'm going to work down the side, weaving in and out and breaking through a few of the strands. Stretch that out and come back the exact same way. Then I'll leave that for the top because we're going to be crocheting around the top as well.